on her Instagram page, the baby bump. It's so big, actually. I'm just like, how come no one had hinted?
Well, I'm supposed to work with South Soul.
Oh, wow.
As at then, I think they were trying to wrap up their album project. Then there was no time for them to actually give me attention.
He was saying that, doing life together with Simi is the best decision he ever made in life.
With the need to introduce his legacy to the younger generation, Bandanaya Issa comes from the younger inspired generation and is guided by the veterans that knew him.
The real meaning of madenge.
Hello there, it's the 24th of January 2022, the time 9 p.m. East African. Good evening, my name is Mboya.
My name is Museo. Thank you so much for joining us on this comprehensive coverage of all the day's events that have been happening here in the country and around the world. And it's political season, talk of the political heat, and candidate storm are not taking chances.
Oh, that's right, we're hearing use of words like earthquake, tsunami, tremor, and obviously we have our fingers on the pulse of those political stories as they develop.
Absolutely. Tonight we'll also be keeping you updated with the stories that have been making headlines here in the country and around the world. That includes business and sports news with Richard Munga.
All that coming up, but first our top stories tonight.
Fanya kazi kwa bidii. Ingine sasa watu nasema ati Raila the candidate Yawadosi.
Right Honorable Odinga dismisses claims that his presidential bid is a project of the rich.
The parliamentary group has also endorsed our partnership between UDA, ANC, and Ford Kenya.
United Democratic Alliance Party officially endorses pact with ANC and Ford Kenya.
We are here to have this food taken to the affected people right in these counties like Marsabit, Turkana, Wajir, and Garissa.
Government dispatches relief food to families facing starvation. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
At KBC Channel 1 News at Purity_Museo at Mboya24, the hashtag is Prime Edition. Anne Wangeshi is our sign language interpreter tonight. Straight
to our lead political story, Orange Democratic Party leader Raila Odinga has dismissed claims that his presidential bid is a project of the rich.
Odinga, who spoke in Murang'a, further said that under his leadership there will be a favorable environment for all business to thrive.
Murang'a leaders urged him to pick his deputy from the region. Gladys Mungai is on that beat.
Former Premier Raila Odinga on Monday sought to popularize his Azimio la Umoja initiative in Murang'a County as he moves to consolidate the vote-rich region behind his presidential bid. Odinga, who began his term offensive by holding a closed-door meeting with area leaders at Thika Golf Club before making his way into Thika Greens to address area residents, claimed his competitors have sensed defeat and have instead resorted to labeling him a project for the dynasties.
Tekani, uende tunachukua kwa tajiri ili uweze kutajirisha maskini. Una create conditions kwa maskini kupanda juu, kuinuka. That's how you deal with poverty. You don't deal with poverty by impoverishing the rich. You deal with poverty by ensuring that you give conditions for everybody for upward social mobility.
Odinga, who told area residents that he was the best bet for the presidency, stated that the nation's unity will be top priority under his tenure.
Yale kitu tunataka ni kufungua nchi yetu. Watu kutoka pande hii unaweza kwenda kufanya biashara huko Nyanza. Okay? Na watu wa Nyanza wanaweza kuja kufanya biashara upande hii. Hiyo ndio Kenya mpya tunataka.
Leaders accompanying Odinga taking a swipe at the move by ANC boss to partner with UDA, claiming the duo has nothing tangible to solve what ails Kenya.
Sasa watu wamekaa hapo wanasema ati tumeungana. Na hawa watu na huyu mtu alikuwa anatuambia kila mwaka kila mwezi ya kwamba yeye ako na chama, yeye anataka kufanya muungano na bodaboda na mama mboga. Jana ndio nimegundua sasa mama mboga na bodaboda ni Musalia na Wetangula. Mama ya Nyama Kima ameongea hapa, amesema sisi tunasaidika. Ati wanadanganya watu, tunataka kulete bottom up, kutoa watu chini kupeleka hawa juu. Swali ambayo Wakenya wanataka kujua kwanza kabla tulienda juu, nani alipeleka hawa chini? Hiyo ndio ile swali kwanza lazima tujue.
Baba, tunakuamini, tumejua umejitolea, umeteseka na umeshikilia viongozi wetu kutoka baba yako, kutoka sasa Uhuru Kenyatta. Kwa hivyo CV yako tunaijua, na hata ukitoa manifesto tutasoma tu, lakini CV ya baba tunaijua, number 1. Hao wengine tunaijua lakini ni bovu kabisa.
Huyo mtu mwingine hapendi Mount Kenya. Wakati tulienda kupigania one man, one vote, one man, one shilling, ni nani alisupport sisi? Si ni Jacom? Si huyo mtu alipinga na akamobilize watu yake hiyo kitu ianguke?
On Saturday, Odinga heads to Ihura Stadium in what has been termed as efforts to move to the top of the mountain and enrich his vote basket in the upcoming elections. For Prime Edition, I'm Gladys Mungai.
Let's stay with politics. The United Democratic Alliance Party has officially endorsed a political pact with Musalia Mudavadi's ANC and Moses Wetangula's Ford Kenya parties.
At a meeting chaired by the Deputy President William Ruto in Nairobi, the UDA allied MPs approved the new alliance unveiled on Sunday and agreed on a program of joint political rallies across the country ahead of the August election.
That's right. Ben Chumba has the details.
A day after Deputy President William Ruto unveiled a political pact with ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula's Ford Kenya, the UDA parliamentary group met in Nairobi to endorse the partnership.
The parliamentary group has also endorsed our partnership between UDA, ANC, and Ford Kenya.
We will engage and continue to engage the Ford Kenya and ANC, including their parliamentary groups that will be meeting with them soon.
At a parliamentary group meeting, the UDA allied MPs agreed on joint political rallies to ensure the pact becomes the winning coalition in the forthcoming general elections.
Already agreed on a series of rallies beginning Wednesday through Saturday, and you will see more of us in the coming days.
Legislators in the formation promising to use the newfound unity to champion for pro-people legislation.
Friends will be having, I think, theirs tomorrow or the day after, and we will then subsequently agree on how we are going to conduct parliamentary business and what kind of format we are going to adopt in making sure that we prosecute that parliamentary business jointly and in a coordinated manner.
They further demanded commitment from all presidential candidates to commit not to use violence during the electioneering period. Ben Chumba, Prime Edition.
Away from politics, Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i says security will be scaled up ahead of the August election. CS Matiang'i said hotspots have already been mapped out. The Interior CS said or cautioned politicians against maligning public servants during their campaigns. Zainab Said has that report.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i spoke after a closed-door meeting with top security agencies, among them the Director of Public Prosecution Nurdin Haj, Director of Criminal Investigations George Kinoti, and Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutiambai.
It is peaceful and we are by and large safe. The challenges that we have in the region related to terror or terrorism, as it were, are real. And I have to be very frank with the people of Kenya and say this. We have to be very cautious. We have heightened our level of security in certain parts of our country because of this, and we will maintain it at that level. And these challenges we have in the region are not only affecting us, they're affecting us and also our colleagues in the region.
An agitated Matiang'i maintained that as public servants, their work is to serve Kenyans and cautioned politicians who drag their names into politics.
And therefore, attacking public officers who do not have a platform to defend themselves is both immoral, irresponsible, and reckless on the part of political leaders. Because if you go to a public meeting and attack a county commissioner or a regional commissioner who doesn't have a platform to come and explain that what you're actually talking about are just lies. So you are the only one who has the opportunity to keep lying about public officers because they will never come back to explain to the public that they're being lied about. It's not fair. It has never happened in our country before. Very finally, our country has been
While exalting security officers for maintaining peace across the country, Matiang'i assured that peace will be restored in Laikipia and West Pokot.
In public meetings and in campaign rallies, we will have more of our officers, whether they are from NCIC or from the DCI, embedded in some of this political activity, so that we not only detect crime when it's committed, but we are also able to document the evidence that we need to support prosecution.
The monthly meetings for security agencies, which began today, are meant to review the state of internal security ahead of the general elections. For Prime Edition, I'm Zainab Said.
Now, a section of politicians from Western Kenya have strongly condemned the move by ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi to work with Deputy President William Ruto. The leaders under Democratic Action Party of Kenya say that his decision was catastrophic and doesn't resonate with the aspirants of the Luhya community. They added that they would continue rallying behind ODM leader Raila Odinga.
On Monday, the Democratic Action Party of Kenya at Chui House received defectors from ANC, including the former Speaker of the National Assembly, Kenneth Marende, former Nyamira Senator Kennedy Mongare, and Matungu Member of Parliament Peter Nabulindo. A section of Western Kenya leaders hitting at Musalia Mudavadi for going against the wishes of the Luhya people by opting to work with the Deputy President William Ruto.
Yesterday is a sad day because we saw, like the famous book in the Bible, our Jonah being swallowed by a big fish. And today as we speak, Musalia Mudavadi, Moses Masika Wetangula are our two Jonas who are in the belly of the UDA fish.
Musalia is going a wrong route. Amefanya makosa, jamii yetu yafaa msifuate hayo mambo.
The leaders terming his move as betrayal and an attempt to auction the Luhya nation.
Sisi wengine ambayo tulichaguliwa kupitia ANC wakati huo hatuwezi kwenda huko, na viongozi wote wa Western ambayo wamechaguliwa, sisi tunaenda Azimio.
Nitafagia hiyo nyumba ya ANC. Up to the last MCA atakuwa hapa DAP. Next week wabunge wengine wanakuja polepole mpaka hiyo nyumba ibakie blank. Musalia must walk alone.
He threw a bomb, but did not realize that that bomb was wired on him. So my brother Musalia has blown himself up.
This is Kotu dismissed remarks by ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi on plans to review the trade union if elected president. Kotu Assistant Secretary General Benson Okwaro urged Mudavadi to focus on his political journey and desist from interfering with their operations.
Kotu Kenya is a movement, and it is not for Musalia Mudavadi to decide our fate. Our fate is already decided. It's decided by the Kenyan workers. We are there constitutionally and will remain irrespective of who takes over the government.
Meanwhile, the Senate is set to hold a special sitting from Tuesday to deliberate on, among other issues, a report on political parties amendment bill. During a similar sitting held on the 11th of this month, senators committed the bill to public participation before commencing debate. Finally, minority groups in Narok have said that they are ready to work with leaders who will cater for their interests. Led by their chairman Maurice Owinga, the group is calling on politicians to preach peace and unity, even as they revealed that they were open to negotiate with all the aspirants, urging on its members to register as voters to have a stake in the country's politics.
Amesimamia idara ya vitambulisho aweze kupeana vitambulisho kwa vijana ambaye wako na waiting card na inastahili wakuje wachukue kura.
Lansio Kware, Prime Edition.
The enhanced voter registration exercise has entered its second week, with a section of leaders from Migori and Homa Bay counties raising concern on the low turnout being witnessed. The leaders are urging the youth to register and participate in the election or electing their leaders.
A spot check by KBC revealed that many of the IEBC registration centers were registering 10 people on average daily. IEBC says in the second phase, Kenyans have become more reluctant to register as voters.
Phase 1 tukianza, we had very high numbers. Then they started going downwards. So tuko tu hapa tunachezea 5 people per day. But the turnout basically most are under 35.
They say if the trend continues, IEBC will not hit its 6 million new voters target.
I want to kindly urge those who have not registered to come out to register and exercise their voting rights.
As much as kuna watu wamejitokelezea, I don't think those are the full numbers. They should just come out, because tumebakisha 2 weeks. They should just come out and register.
In Mvita sub-county, Mombasa County, low voter registration has been witnessed, with only 2,024 voters registered. This against a target of 15,000 voters who were left out in the first phase. According to Mvita sub-county IEBC manager Neema Karisa, the commission has noted an increase in transfers of voting centers as compared to new registrations. She has, however, said they have put enough registration kits in place.
Nataka kutransfer kura yake awe na uthibitisho ya kuishi pale mahali kwa muda usiopungua miezi 6. Hiyo ni kulingana na elections act. So tuna vipi kwa mtu ameishi pale kwa muda usiopungua miezi 6. Tunasema apate barua kutoka kwa chief wake, ambao tumeelewana na machifu pia kwamba wanaanza na mzee wa mtaa, alafu anaenda kwa chief, manake mzee wa mtaa wa mzee wa nyumba 10 ndio mwenye kwa jua hawa.
During phase 1 of the exercise that ran from October 4th to November 5th, 2021, IEBC performed dismally. Out of a target of 6 million, only about 1.5 million eligible Kenyans were enlisted. And as the country draws closer to the February 6th deadline, IEBC 4.5 million target seems like an ambition too high for the electoral body. Beatrice Gatonyangetich, Prime Edition.
Well, no doubt there's a slow uptick in the voter registration. This is week 2. The exercise also across borders of registering citizens who reside outside Kenya and the diaspora. The numbers registered so far, 163 new voters, as well as 184 requests for transfer and 136 applications in particular. Of course, some hitches being attributed as well to the COVID containment measures that are being put in place. in the diaspora. Now, Kenya and the United States of America have agreed to continue engaging conflicting parties in the Ethiopia to have a speedy resolution to the conflict that's taking place in the Horn of Africa. At a meeting in State House, Nairobi, Monday, President Uhuru Kenyatta and U.S. Special Envoy for the Horn of Africa, David Satterfield, emphasized that peace in Ethiopia is extremely crucial for the region's stability. Farah Yusuf with that report.
Ambassador Satterfield commended President Kenyatta for his committed efforts towards ending the conflict between the federal government and the Tigrayan People's Liberation Front. President Kenyatta said Kenya and Ethiopia have been working together progressively, especially in the telecommunications and infrastructure development, adding that the internal conflict in the Horn of Africa country should not be allowed to continue as it will erode progress made. President Kenyatta and Satterfield also discussed the peace and security situation in Sudan and Somalia. Yusuf Far reporting for Prime Edition.
Well, that story brings us to our first break right here on KBC Prime.
Absolutely, and Tom, it's important to note that even here in Kenya, on the voter registration, the slow registration exercises is not only being witnessed in diaspora, because the IEBC targets 1.4 million new voters every week, but this week they have only managed to register 229,000 Kenyans.
These young fellas are not registering.
Last minute rush, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Let's
by the way,
so.
yeah. Okay,
all right, stay with us. We are back shortly with more news.
I had 8 colleagues with me who became district commissioners at the same time with me. And of course, there before, we had other African district commissioners.
Do you have any tribal problems as a Kikuyu when you have to deal with people from other tribes?
Far from it. I feel even happier when dealing with other people. I have worked in another province, Nyanza province, which is predominantly the Baluhia and the Luo, who, of course, had apprehensions first when I got there, but I've got quite a number of friends there, and I would be quite happy to work in the area.
Beacon Furnitures Limited. We're local manufacturers of quality office furniture, dealers in quality office equipment like fireproof safes and cabinets. Our automated state-of-the-art factories at Henna House along Enterprise Road in Nairobi's industrial area. Our showroom is at Uniafric House, Koinange Lane off Koinange Street. We are passionate believers in locally manufactured goods. When you and I buy locally made furniture, we impact on the livelihoods of our brothers and sisters. For orders, visit our showroom at Uniafric House, Koinange Lane off Koinange Street. Beacon Furnitures Limited. Jenga Kenya, tupate ajira.
Tayari saizi zenye ziko kwa market nzuri nimetoa ni ngoma kama 7, ni ngoma 7 sasa hivi.
Najita jina lako nani? Rendi moko
na ndio mafans wangu wategee mambo moto kali kama ngoma zangu hiyo intie doda ni ngoma nimekuja nazo na ni ngoma zitawachangamsha mbaya sana.
Likonyo gimana ireso gimana donge kana luongi yoyo kana moko chudo da donge tinga mal.
Log on to the KBC website at www.kbc.co.ke to get the latest breaking news, entertainment, sports, politics, lifestyle, or business trends from Kenya and around the world. Never miss new episodes from your favorite TV shows, reruns, and movies. Just stream online or watch live on your YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1 TV shows. For the day's biggest stories, trustworthy news, and family entertainment, log on to KBC Channel 1. Watch what you want anytime, anywhere.
You're watching Prime Edition this Monday night. Welcome back. The government has dispatched 340 tons of relief food to 6,400 families facing starvation across the country. Public Service Cabinet Secretary Professor Margaret Kobia said no one will die of hunger. She said her ministry is working on a long-term solution as distribution of relief food is no longer sustainable.
The government is now racing to mop up resources to rescue thousands facing starvation across the country.
Are doing to support people who have been affected by the drought, which you are told rains are not likely to come until somewhere in March. That is a long way to go.
Over 6,000 families facing acute food shortage will be the first to benefit from 340 tons of relief food.
Kilifi County, hizo saizi zinaenda na zile zingine zitafata within this week paka tukue tunahakikisha inafika kwa wale wako na haja kabisa.
Gender Cabinet Secretary Professor Margaret Kobia says the donation is to just mitigate the situation, but the government is working on a more sustainable program.
He appealed to Kenyans, to NGOs, to other countries like Kuwait, which Kenya works very closely. We have a very good bilateral relations with Kuwait. We are here to have this food taken to the affected people right in these counties like Marsabit, Turkana, Wajir, and Garissa, all the northeastern counties.
Professor Kobia says so far the government has released 8.5 billion shillings to assist those facing severe drought. Kuwait's ambassador to Kenya, Kusai Rashid Al-Farhan, who was among those who made donations towards the affected, said his country will continue supporting the country in various areas.
Kuwait did not hesitate to send an Air Force plane with 340 tons of food supply, enough to cover over 6,400 families.
Now, on to that story that has been in the lips of many people. One of the bodies found dumped in Iten, Elgeyo Marakwet, has been identified as that of Abdirahim Ado Abdullahi, a Directorate of Criminal Investigations officer attached to the Embu County. The body had deep cuts, indicating that, the victim had been tortured before being killed. Authorities believe that the victim was killed elsewhere and his body dumped in the area.
The body of Abdirahim Ado Abdullahi, which was badly mutilated, was discovered dumped in a thicket in Iten. This comes as two more bodies were found in Kapsigorian along SS Kabarnet Eldoret Highway.
If you look at it, it has got bruises all over the body, but the postmortem will confirm what was the cause of the death.
The wife of the deceased, Zainab Deka, said before his death, Ado had indicated he was being tracked, adding that the last time she was in contact with her husband, he was on an assignment and was due to travel back home from Mombasa.
Mimi nikiwa job just the other day niliona gari zingine suspicious hapo. Nimepeana hizo number plate za gari Embu. Tafadhali, we just need justice.
Joseph Mumira, a county criminal officer based in Baringo County, said they have taken fingerprints of the other two bodies which were found in Baringo.
We do not have any recent report of a missing person at Kabarnet police station. So the only thing that we are relying on are the fingerprints or maybe subsequent reports of people who might be missing.
On his part, Baringo Directorate of Criminal Investigation Officer Joseph Chege says the victims could be in their mid-30s or early 40s. Members of public whose skin may be missing have been urged to visit Baringo County Referral Hospital, Kabarnet Morgue, where the bodies were moved for preservation. Jacqueline Masharia for Prime Edition.
370,000 people in the country are this month eligible for the COVID-19 booster shots, having completed 6 months after full vaccination. The National Task Force of Vaccines Against COVID-19 Chair Dr. Willis Akwale said the government targets to administer booster shots to 4.2 million Kenyans by December this year. Speaking at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, where the government received 1.36 million doses of Pfizer vaccines from the United States government, Akwale said that discussions with the development partners are underway to address the shortage of Moderna vaccines.
Have you guys taken your booster?
Vaccine doses arriving today are the same safe and effective Pfizer vaccine that has been used to vaccinate millions of people in the United States and around the world.
We have set a target of ensuring by end of June we are going to vaccinate 19 million adults fully vaccinated. At the same time, we aim to vaccinate 2.9 million teenagers.
Meanwhile, 170 people have tested positive for COVID-19 in the last 24 hours from a sample size of 3,659. This puts the positivity rate at 4.7%. The total confirmed positive cases now stands at 320,399 out of over 3.1 million samples screened. 4 more people have succumbed to the disease, raising the cumulative fatality to 5,558. 556 patients have recovered from the disease. 115,407 people have so far received booster shots in the country. In other news, 2 businessmen accused of land fraud together with businessman cum politician Jimmy Wanjigi have obtained orders from the High Court restraining the Inspector General of Police and the Director of Public Prosecutions from arresting and prosecuting them. Justice Anthony Mrima restrained the prosecution of Kaniz Nurani and Mohammed Hussein Ali pending the hearing of and determination of the application they have lodged in court.
Through their lawyer John Swaka, trial magistrate Bernard Ochoi heard that the 2 accused persons cannot attend the court as summoned since the High Court had stopped their prosecution.
Both orders dated the 21st of January 2022 restrains the first respondent, who is basically the DPP, from further handling this matter or continuing with it in any shape or form until such a time as the High Court will direct.
However, the court extended summons against 3 other accused persons, Himanshu Velji, Augustine Thuo and John Jenga, ordering them to appear in court.
As regards the second and fourth accused, intended accused persons, their attendance in court is dispensed with following the order of the High Court. For the 6th accused person, John Jenga, summons are extended to 18th of March.
The prosecution informed the court that Mohammed Hussein Ali is deceased, prompting the court to direct verification to ascertain his demise. The matter will be mentioned on March 18th this year. Wanjigi, his wife, and 6 other accused persons are facing 6 counts of land fraud involving a piece of land in Nairobi. Elsewhere, the Director of Public Prosecution, Nudin Haji, is yet to disclose evidence against suspended Football Kenya Federation President Nick Mwendwa. The Defense Counsel told the court that they hadn't received documentary evidence to allow them prepare for trial. The court directed the matter be mentioned on April 4th to confirm compliance. Mwendwa, who is out on a cash bail of 10 million shillings, has denied 4 charges of fraudulent acquisition of public property while managing the federation. For Prime Edition, I'm Ben Troy Njue.
From the courts to the counties, public and private forest conservation and management organizations are calling for the immediate withdrawal of the proposed Forest Conservation and Management Amendment Bill. Stakeholders argue that the bill threatens to expose public forests to arbitrary boundary changes and destruction. Here is that report.
The organization's leadership issued a joint statement from the East African Wildlife Society offices, noting that the amendment contravenes the Petitions to Parliament Act Section 3F, which requires that such matters should be decided by Parliament in consultation with the relevant state agency, in this case Kenya Forest Service.
We are in the process of writing specific petitions directly to the Speaker of the House in regards to this particular bill and proposal, so that then the Speaker of the House, through the rules of the House, is mandated to read all petitions on the floor of the House. And we will definitely make sure that our petition lands on his desk and urge him to give it the most thorough of considerations possible.
Elsewhere, Kenya Power and Lighting Company and the National Government Administration have intensified a crackdown on vandalism and theft of electricity transformers in South Nyanza region. The crackdown also seeks to unearth the market of transformer oil and copper wires. A sting operation conducted at Koige and Nyakoe in Kitutu Chache South Sub-County saw 2 suspects arrested while others being pursued.
In the month of December, we lost 14 transformers, each valued at around 500,000 Kenya shillings. That means 7 million Kenya shillings was spent in replacing transformers which might have been saved and the vandals not attacked them.
Finally, in Kiambu County, hundreds of youth are set to benefit from 5 road construction projects funded by the national government. According to Karori Ward MCA Peter Njoroge, the project will create a wide range of employment for them.
Tunataka quality. Sika barabara ingine tumetengenezwa na within 2 months imeharibika. Saa hizi, because we want quality, wakitisha hizo ta certificate for the skilled labor tumeagree, but first ni lazima wakuwe wameexhaust watu wenye tuko na wao.
Kwa hivyo wamama watapewa nafasi ya kufanya kazi, hakuna limit, na tunaomba watu wetu wakuwe watulifu, wakubali kazi ifanywe.
Reporting for Prime Edition, I'm Mboya Otiende.
Dr. Munywa Waiyaki joined politics after he was picked to be President Jomo Kenyatta's personal doctor. In our Monday segment, The Cabinet, we focus on the late Dr. Waiyaki, who served in Kenya's first independence government.
Dr. Munywa Waiyaki. He was President Jomo Kenyatta's most trusted minister. Born in 1926 from the lineage of the legendary Chief Waiyaki Wahinga, he died in 2017, aged 91. He served as Minister for Agriculture, Minister for Foreign Affairs, and MP for Kasarani. Since President Jomo Kenyatta hated flying, the minister became the face of Kenya abroad. As Kenya's first indigenous medical doctor, Dr. Waiyaki found space in Kenyan politics after he was picked to be Kenyatta's medical doctor. Attended Alliance High School until 1945, then South Africa's Adams College. He arrived at Mombasa by sea from South Africa in 1951, after which his father introduced him to Jomo Kenyatta and Mbiu Koinange. A week before President Kenyatta died in 1978, he asked Dr. Wayaki to summon all the foreign ambassadors and high commissioners. The meeting took place hours before the president collapsed in Msambweni and lasted less than 10 minutes. Dr. Wayaki was in the Kenya Educational Trust Committee led by Mboya, which coordinated the famous airlifts to American universities. The others were Dr. Gikonyo Kiano and Mr. Mwai Kibaki.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Mundos divididos por una sombra de traición.
If you want my fingerprints, then call my attorney.
I can tell you how things stand on certain things, Mariela, but giving you a copy of the file is something I can't do.
That is enough. I do my job with surgical accuracy. Just remember what I did when I burned down Dr. Salvatierra's house. That didn't cause you any problems, and his death solved a whole bunch of other issues.
Lying heart.
Fue sembrando el veneno y la ambición.
Good evening. We now take a look at today's business news. My name is Carol Jenga. Now, Kenya earned 155 billion shillings from tea sales in 2021, which was 15 billion shillings more than what was earned the previous year. The increased earnings comes against the backdrop of reduced tea production in 2021 as compared to 2020, with the tea board blaming poor pay and management for reduced production.
Tea production reduced considerably last year, with farmers producing 533 million kilos of made tea against 569 million kilos in 2020. Despite the decline in production, tea export volumes increased by 40 million in kilos in 2021 to 558 million kilos, up from 518 million kilos the previous year. Farmers earned 136 billion shillings from exports last year, which was 16 billion shillings more when compared to what they earned in the previous year. Kenyans consumed less tea in 2021, as earnings from local tea consumption marginally reduced to 19 billion shillings, down from 20 billion shillings in 2020. The tea board says despite an increase in earnings, tea continues to face turbulence as the government continues to implement reforms. The board says suppressed production is as a result of last year's low bonus payout to smallholder tea farmers, exploitation by middlemen through green leaf hawking, delayed payments, perceived decline in quality of tea, and low levels of value addition, as well as less production diversification. To address issues about quality, the tea board will start ranking tea from factories based on sensory quality parameters. The 20 lowly ranked tea factories will then be put on a 5-year quality improvement program, where they are given technical advice on how to improve their tea processing practices. The board also plans to draft mechanical tea harvesting guidelines that will streamline tea harvesting operations and mitigate on escalating cost of production and declining tea prices. Benson Rioba reporting for Prime Edition.
The National Transport and Safety Authority will harmonize and synchronize key information on public service vehicles in efforts to ensure unroadworthy vehicles are kept off the roads. NTSA Director of Registration and Licensing Engineer Christopher Wanjau says the authority is upgrading the Transport Integrated Management System to create a hub of vehicle information and facilitate confiscation of unroadworthy vehicles' number plates.
In the upgrade, the Transport Integrated Management System will create a one-stop shop for information on public service vehicles as well as private vehicles. This comes amid reports that vehicles were increasingly opting to skip inspection that determines compliance to safety measures. The National Transport and Safety Authority says it will integrate all information on the status of PSVs in efforts meant to ensure that only roadworthy vehicles operate. The authority told PSV operators and driving school managers that vehicles placed on probation after failing safety standards will not be traded.
If that vehicle is unroadworthy, whether you have booked it, you are not supposed to be on the road. And that's why when a vehicle is removed on the road, you are given a prohibition order.
The new information hub will create one domain for details on PSVs and private vehicles such as transfer of ownership.
Adhere to the laws to ensure that the laws that have been put will ensure that there is a drastic reduction of accidents on our roads.
The National Transport and Safety Authority's Technical Committee urged motorists to self-police and comply with traffic rules. Reporting for Prime Edition, my name is Ibak Said.
Now to an interesting story, a seemingly sleepy town in Oletepesi, commonly referred to as Tinga in Kajiado County, is gaining recognition as a unique tourist destination following a rare occurrence dubbed the Donkey Baraza. For years now, donkeys assemble at the town square every evening without fail and depart in the wee hours of the morning to go graze. This unique occurrence has amused locals and visitors alike. Regina Manyara witnessed this and files the following report.
There are over 1.8 million donkeys in Kenya, and around 3/4 of them are used for transporting luggage and farming.
Ni vigumu sana kusikia Masai amekula punda. Na punda huwa tunaifanyia ni kubeba maji na mizigo.
However, donkeys are becoming popular for a different issue altogether.
Huwa wanapatikana wakati kuna ukame huku ama kukiwa na mvua. Hao punda wanatoka eneo mbalimbali kutoka 46 Museo, huwa wanakutana hapa sana sana usiku na wanalala huku. Asubuhi wanatoka huku wanaenda kunywa maji kule chini, kuna borehole pale chini.
In Kajiado, Oletepesi aka Tinga, donkeys converge every evening to seemingly discuss their welfare issues, a presumption made by the locals who are yet to understand the anomaly.
Wana wenyewe huwa wanapelekwa nyumbani, lakini lazima wanarudi huku. Kila mtu ana alama yake kulingana na familia, na pia huwa tunaeka ile mchoro kwa kutumia moto. Kwa hivyo punda, kila mtu ana punda lake.
The beast of burden is still of great economic value to the predominantly pastoral community, especially the women folk under whose care they lie.
Sana sana huwa inatumiwa na wamama, lakini pia tukihamisha ng'ombe huwa wale wenye wanahamisha pia wanabeba nayo maji na zile vitu za kwenda kutumia.
However, when a donkey dies, the whole boma is involved.
Tunabomoa sasa boma, nafasi kidogo tunapitisha watoto huwa, na tena kinachokuwa ngumu sana kwa punda akienda kuzaa, huwa tupendangi watu hawaendi kuangalia venye ng'ombe anazaa. Huwa tunaonanga kama punda anafanana na ni kama binadamu, sisi tunachukulia hivyo.
As Kenya promotes domestic tourism, Tinga residents believe the donkey baraza can be one of the attractions to market the town.
Kwa hivyo inaweza kuwa ni ukweli kuwa ni mkutano pia ya punda. Pengine ni msimu tu, ni wakati tu ndio tujui, ni leo kuna mkutano, kesha hakuna.
Oletepesi in Ma means acacia. For as long as the residents can remember, donkeys converge here every evening for a formal or informal baraza. I'm Regina Manyara reporting for KBC Channel 1.
To restore the 16th
Quite
century
interesting.
home
Thank you,
was a
Regina
labor
Manyara,
of
for that report. Now, Kenya has extended the ban on the export of 2 avocado varieties indefinitely in a bid to contain shipment of immature fruits. The Agriculture and Food Authority says the current crop in farms is immature and that any trader keen to export avocados should seek clearance form with the regulator.
The harvesting of Hass and Fuerte avocado varieties for export remains suspended indefinitely. This is after the Agriculture and Food Authority conducted a survey on the current crop on different farms across the country and concluded that the crop is still immature and not fit for export. The authority had placed an export ban on the 2 varieties in November last year and was to be reviewed this month. After a stakeholder review meeting, the Agriculture and Food Authority has decided to extend the avocado export ban indefinitely until the current crop in farms meet export standards. Kenya had placed an avocado ban to protect its image in the overseas market. According to players in the sector, Kenya had created a niche for itself in the international market, and immature avocado export that was finding its way into the international market reduced the price and ultimately the value of Kenyan avocados. The export ban is also expected to reduce interference with the cropping cycle of the crop and will help estimating projected volumes during harvests. However, the export of jumbo variety will continue by air, but limited to a maximum size of 184 grams per fruit. In a raft of measures expected to be enforced once export resumes, exporters with unregistered marketing agents risk losing their export licenses. Traders and farmers will also be required to adhere to the crops regulations of 2020 that ban the transportation of avocado crops on open pickups, probox and canters. Avocado will only be transported on washable crates to retain the crop's quality and enhance food safety standards.
Well, and that is how we wrap up business news for tonight. Forex market report is up next. Then later, Richard Munga will be bringing you the sports update. Have a good night. My name is Carol Jenga.
Classic, we have outreach programs in Mombasa where we work with 4 schools. We started with teaching recorder and a program called Link Up, also known as Orchestra for Schools.
Guess what? She is expectant and she just posted on her Instagram page the baby bump. It's so big actually. I'm just like, how come no one had hinted?
Well, I'm supposed to work with South Soul.
Oh wow!
As at then, I think they were trying to wrap up their album project. Then there was no time for them to actually give me attention.
He was saying that, you know, doing life together with Simi is the best decision he ever made in life.
With a need to introduce his legacy to the younger generation, Bandanaya Esa comes from the younger inspired generation and is guided by the veterans that knew him.
Niko real, nimechill, sina speedy. Niko zone airborne, siko greedy. Motif, ebu nijenge, wajue the real meaning of madhenge.
Oh, good evening. I'm Richard Munga with the latest in sports. To a top story tonight, whereby former Vihiga Queens tactician Alex Alumira has been appointed the new Harambee Starlets head coach. FKF Caretaker Committee Chairman Justice Retired Aaron Ringera announced the new changes on Monday after an exhaustive interview process conducted last week. Alumira will be assisted by Benta Chieng and Anna Loch, while Martha Karemi will be the team manager. Meanwhile, Harambee Starlets will go into camp on Tuesday ahead of their Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match against arch rivals Uganda. Meanwhile, the Kenya under-18 girls tennis team lost all their opening matches on day one of the ITF Tour Juniors Championship, which kicked off today at the Nairobi Sports Club. The three-week championship has attracted 17 countries, including host Kenya, England, Belgium and Brazil, among other nations.
Kenya's Faith Urasa lost to Hefil Payo of Canada, while Rhea Kipsang lost to Honori Koreyama of Japan, and Els Vedder defeated Serena Linda of Kenya.
I'm looking to do well. I'm looking to probably win the tournament, get some ITF points and play some doubles, and in future I'm probably going to enter more of these events, maybe in Africa, probably in Europe, a bit more in Europe. And yeah, that's my plan.
It's well organised. You know, I've still got my match to play at 1. You know, I'm excited. It's been good being here. First time in Africa, so it's been nice. It's been good.
The championship has seen 14 Kenyans participate as they aim to secure a ticket to the African Junior Championships slated for March.
I've played 2 ITF tournaments. I do training in the morning, and in the evening I do my classes.
I started playing tennis when I was 7 years old. My parents inspired me to play tennis, and ever since I've been working hard to play good tennis.
17 countries, including host Kenya, England, Belgium and Brazil, are taking part. The championship will head on February 12.
Our biggest challenge is our education system. Most of the players here are candidates, so they actually are not given time to come to train, given that they are going to be sitting for their national examinations in March.
Daniel Mwendwa for Prime Edition Sports.
Also, Kenya Forest Service KFS men's volleyball team head coach Washira Gatoria believes his team is ready to challenge for a title this season after starting the new season with a 3 straight sets win over Central Prisons in Kapsabet. The team is set to face KDF and Vihiga in the next leg of the National Volleyball League at Nyayo National Stadium on the 12th and 13th of next month.
Kenya Forest Service KFS men's volleyball team started the new season on a high tempo after comfortably beating Central Prisons 3-0 in the first leg that was held in Kapsabet, Uasin Gishu County. The team was set to face Trailblazers, but the match was moved to a later date.
Like now, I just expect after KDF there is another bunch of team that I will play in another time. So at least there could be a way to know your opponent and up to the last day, but they keep interchanging. But it's nature. Maybe I was to play Trailblazers in Camp Summit, I didn't play them, so what I trained at that time, I'll have to repeat again when I'm going to face them another day.
Tunatarajia kwamba hizo point 2 tulipoteza ndio tunaenda kuzitafuta. Ni kama tayari tuko na point 1 kwao. So tunaendea hizo point 2 ambazo walichukua wakati ya tournament.
According to the team's head coach Washira Gatuiria, the team has had enough time to prepare for the third leg encounter that will be staged at Nyayo National Stadium. The last time KFS faced KDF was during the previous season, where KDF claimed a narrow 3-2 sets win.
So the focus is winning, one game at a time. You can't say about the whole tournament. You tackle one game at a time. Every game have different approach. So now we are basically training for the two teams.
KFS is set to move its training to Nyayo Stadium from Karura Forest, where they normally hold their residential training. Frederick Muki for Prime Edition.
And on to other matters now. National Rugby 7 side Shujaa now shifts their focus to the fourth leg of the HSBC Sevens World Series in Seville next weekend, following an underwhelming performance in Malaga that saw the Innocent Simiyu-led side drop a spot down on the series standings. Shujaa finished last in Pool D after only registering a single win in the group matches, beating France in the last pool match after losses to Canada and Wales in the opening matches. Shujaa would then lose to Scotland in the 9th place quarter-final match before the eventual defeat to Japan in the 13th place semi-final match. The team will be out for redemption when they take to the pitch in Seville, Spain from the 28th to the 30th of January. Kenya is in Pool D alongside Australia, Canada and Scotland. Malaga champions South Africa will take on USA and Spain in Pool A, while Argentina is in Pool B alongside Ireland, Germany and Jamaica. Pool C will see England square off against France, Wales and Japan. And golf perks Eric Oko remained at the top of the leaderboard, this time on his own after levelling the par 72 Limuru Country Golf Club. He managed to cross the back 9 on 2 under par after a birdie at the par 5 under 9th. The back 9 was not, however, his best, as he dropped shots over the 11 and 13 for 2 over par and his level par 72, which left him at the top on 2 under par 142. On the other hand, Uganda Open champion Justice Mboya remained in second place, this time also on his own after a level par 72. Internationally now, Barcelona's Frenkie de Jong late goal helped them secure a 3-point win over Alaves Deportivo, going 5th on the Spanish La Liga standings behind former champions Atletico Madrid. The win moved Barca to within a point of 4th place Atletico Madrid, who they host at the Nou Camp next weekend. Meanwhile, Real Madrid drew 2-2 against Elche. Now, Gambia has become the latest team, of course, in this year's Africa Cup of Nations to qualify for the quarterfinals after beating Guinea 1-0. In another match that starts at 10 p.m, you have Cameroon taking on Comoros, and tomorrow, Senegal versus Cape Verde and Morocco versus Malawi. For more updates, log on to www.kbc.co.ke on the sports segment for all the stories as well as other sports updates. Do have a good night. I'm Richard Munga. Don't go too far. Mboya and Museo coming back in a few.
Okay, all right, there. They got us. They got us. By the way, Cameroon taking on Comoros.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to that one.
It's already 10 o'clock.
It's already 10 o'clock, so we got to go.
We have to wrap it up here on Prime Edition, but of course we'll see you again tomorrow at 9 p.m. for yet Prime Edition Tuesday. I'm Purity Museo, and Wangeshi has been our sign language interpreter. Thank you so much for your company. We do appreciate it. Good night and God bless.
Thank you for watching. I'm Mboya from Broadcasting House. Good night.